Good morning. It's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself. And today I want to talk about coming home. Coming home to who it is that you truly are. And I want to break down sort of what's getting in the way of us being whole and complete, and what tools we need to use in order to get there, and how our ego and our self-identity and our self-concept and our conscious awareness and our unconscious awareness and our thoughts and our emotions and our feelings or sensations in our body are all playing a part, are all working together to really have us come home, to remember who we are, to remember that we are perfect and whole and healed, and it's to help guide us home as if we are Dorothy in the movie The Wizard of Oz, and we are on the yellow brick road trying to find our way through it and back home, and knowing that, coming to realize in the end that you've always had the power, that you are the healer, that you are everything, and that you can do this. You can find what you need. You can listen to yourself. You can become who it is that you are. So if this is going to be a big video, so if you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, turn the notification bells on, leave a comment. And it's kind of an all-encompassing overviewing topic, and I want to show you how it all works and to what we need to do in the moment in order to come home, in order to heal ourselves. So without further ado, let's get into it. When we come into this world, we're one. We are all one. We are all everything. And we develop a personal ego, and we build our self-identity and a construct. And this construct, includes all kinds of beliefs that we hold based on experiences that we've had in our life, and environment and people and relationships, and any lessons that we've learned. We sort of build belief on belief, and these lessons and these learnings and what we've been taught and what we've witnessed and what we've seen and what we felt all feed in to the construct that we begin to build, which is our identity and our ego. And of course, none of it's true. It's all based on a story that is happening, and any of those inputs could be changed, and we could hold different beliefs and have different experiences and construct an entirely new identity and ego. But as we build this sense of self, this ego, this identity, it takes in everything, right? Our values, our teachings, our lessons, our beliefs, our experiences, and it really has us create these beliefs based on what we think is true about ourselves and the world around us. Now, we also have, our subconscious and our unconscious and our reptilian, mammalian, years of evolution brain, our nervous system. And it's not really building an identity. It's come from years and millions of years of evolution that shows us how our nervous system works and responds, like the fight, flight, freeze, a fawning response. This just is a quick, instant reaction, right? It doesn't take into account our ego or our identity or our experiences or our feelings or our emotions, right? Or even our thoughts. It's much faster than that. It's in a quick second. It's a survival system. How do we survive? And which instinct do we need to kick in to keep the human organism alive, right? Fight, flight, freeze, fawn, right? These are the massive responses. Fight, flight, freeze being the major ones that kick in to keep you alive, to help you respond to danger, and to keep you alive, basically. So these two, your nervous system and your personal identity or your ego, work together, but they're also in opposition to each other. They work in symbiosis and also in opposition. Okay, and then we have our physical being, right? We have our mind, which is our processing space, which is where we think and create and process all the inputs and data You know, our brain really uses these in order to help us, to think, to process, to innovate, to be creative. This is what our brain does. It processes from morning to night. Got it, even while you're asleep. We have our emotions, right? The different emotions that we feel to help guide us, and anger, sadness, fear, all of the different emotions. And then we have joy, we have love, joy, but I'm just going into the negative here. So we have all the emotions that guide us and show us whether we're on track, show us whether we're happy, sad, or joyful, or whatever it is, so that we know how to respond, right? So we have all these systems that help us, right? Our brain is processing. Our emotions are showing us whether we're on or off track by how we feel. And then we have feelings in the body, right? Our feelings, our physical body, sensations. So the sensations, so whether they feel painful or pleasurable, right? Where they're showing us whether we're on track or off track. So we have the sensations in our body, and we have our emotions, and we have our thoughts, our brain. All of these are systems that help your ego survive, right? That help create that sense of ego and personal identity. But they're also working with your ancient system, your nervous system, your fight, flight, or freeze system to keep you safe. And all of this processes together in the conscious and the unconscious through our heart and our mind and our body to really have us be who we are. And this is why we do things that we do, and why we respond the way we respond, because of all these things. And then we have our soul, the soul, however you want to visualize the soul, whether it's just the aura that surrounds you, whether it's right in the center of you, whether it's like above you, however you envision. This is the soul, this is the you, this is the true you, the real self, the self that sees, that can be the witnesser. This is the self that is the fragment of God, that knows it's the fragment of God, or of all creation, of source, and knows that it is everything. It can create everything. It can have everything. It is connected to all things. It is all things. It is the tree. It is the house. It is the sand. It is the other human looking back at you. It is God. It is a reflection of the whole. It's a piece of the whole, and whenever all the pieces join together, it becomes the whole. It's a reflection of God and consciousness itself. So the soul is consciousness, is that beautiful God or source consciousness part of yourself that looks back and really is in the driver's seat of all of it, but doesn't get involved. So it is just there, and we can access this at any point. So let's come back to our feelings, our heart center. This is your sense of love. This is your sense of empathy and love and kindness. This is the center, right? Your heart, the feeling, the goodness, the joy, the happiness. This is where it all resides. But on the flip side, this is where the emotions of sadness and fear and anger reside. And every emotion is really just a subset of those three: fear, anger, and sadness. Okay, so we also have our fight, flight, or freeze system, right? And the fighting is the anger. That's what it responds to, right? When you feel that fight response, when you want to snap or say something or fight, when you get that response, that is the fight. That is the anger. That is the anger that lives inside the heart. That is the thoughts that create the anger, right? And the feelings that arise, the sensations in the body, are, the red in the face and the impulses that go through your body, that sharp rise in temperature and red face and the anger and the impulse to lash out. These are all feelings. So the emotions and the feelings and the thoughts all correlate with anger, which is the fight response of the nervous system as well. So they're working together here. They are all combinations of each other, so this isn't exact. But fear is that flight response, the need to get away, right? To get away, to run, to protect yourself, right? This fear, this impulse to run and get away. And it's a scary feeling. And it also has these emotions that rise, this fear, the feelings that race through the body, the racing heart, the explosion of running, the dizziness, the sweating, all of these feelings and sensations, and the thoughts like, oh no, I'm not going to be okay. These thoughts, these fear-based thoughts. So the thoughts and the emotions and the feelings all come with fear, which is the flight response, part of the nervous system. And then we have the freeze response, which is really, it's all about deep sadness. It's about being broken. It's about being frozen, disconnecting. We disconnect. We don't know what to do. It is a state of fear. It is a state of deep fear. But also when we're in freeze, when we're trapped there, it's like a helplessness. It's a learned helplessness and a hopelessness. And that is like a deep sadness, a deep sense of brokenness or shame or unable to move, right? Just feeling lost. A deep sense of fear and loss. But really, it's just underneath all of that, when we're stuck in a freeze state, we are broken. We're shattered. We're so sad. And so when we look at these states, we look at sadness, we look at anger, and we look at fear, and we isolate them. And we say, okay, in these states, why one and not the other? Why fear and not anger in this situation? Why sadness and not fear, right? Why these? So there is a reason that you're feeling these emotions, why certain sensations in your body and not the others. There is a reason, there's always a reason why certain thoughts and not others, right? What is your body trying to tell you? What are you being communicated to? And the reason why this is important is because when we know what's being communicated, we know how to solve it or what direction to go in. So when it's a fear, when you are in fear, this is all about control. You either fear losing control or you feel that you're out of control. You are already out of control or you're losing control. It's all about control, right? I don't have control over my thoughts or my emotions or my body. This is when panic attacks come in, or that fear response, right? Where oh no, I am losing control. Or you realize you don't have any control. So when we're doing anger, it's like anger. Okay, the impulse in me, I can feel those feelings rising up quickly inside me. Anger, the fight response. What is anger telling me? Well, it's telling you that something's being triggered inside you, right? Something is being triggered inside you, a past experience or something that has happened in your past. So this is all about trauma and past work. So this is where we need to revisit the past, do trauma work, do self-work, do inner child work, do fragmentation work, right? Do that inner work, shadow work, because something in you is being triggered. The shadow within you is being triggered from something that's happening right now. The shadow side, the dark side, the something from your past, the something that we need to look at. That this is where integration work needs to happen. So, and when we're looking at sadness or a deep freeze or a disconnect or a breaking down, a sadness, it's all about loss and lack. This is all about loss and lack. It's like I'm lacking something that I don't have. I've lost something that I don't have, right? It's like something needs to complete me that is not here. I feel not whole. Sadness is about feeling not whole. And so this is about doing the completion work, the work to feel whole again, to come home to yourself. When you are home, right, you feel safe. You feel, when you're at home, you feel happy again. You feel content, you feel joy. But when you feel this deep sadness, it's because you have a loss and a lack. So you're either coming to everything from a lack mindset, a limited mindset, or you feel a deep loss within yourself, loss of an experience, loss of yourself, loss of a relationship, loss of a person. And so we feel like we're not complete, like we're not home. We have a sense of that we're lacking something and that we need something. And so when we look at these, we can clearly see what's happening when we are based in fear. It's all about control. And the body wants to keep you safe. It's like, I don't feel safe. I feel out of control. I feel like I'm losing control. And I feel unsafe in this world. I don't know who I am. I don't know where I am. I don't know if I'm okay. I don't know if I'm safe. Right? Sadness is a loss and a lack, a feeling that you're not complete, you're not whole, you're not home. Anger is parts of your aspects of yourself that you're denying and pushing down, the shadow side of you being triggered, coming up and wanting to be seen and wanting to integrate back into your being, right? You need to revisit those aspects of yourself, those memories, those parts of yourself that have been denied or abandoned or lost. We need to do the trauma work and the shadow work and integrate back together, back into wholeness. So this is what's happening when we feel those. We can feel it through the emotions. We can feel it through the sensations. We can feel it through the nervous system. We can feel it through our thoughts, right? So there's many indicators of sadness and anger and fear. And there's many indicators of, fight, flight, or freeze. There's many indicators of our thoughts and of the feelings, what sensations are going on in our body. Those are the three things really that we need to work on at all levels. So you are going to feel anger, you are going to feel sadness, you are going to feel fear. And so working in all of these three areas is beneficial to everyone. But you are going to relate to one more. Or at that certain moment, you might be feeling fear. So this is where we need to let go of control. This is where letting go becomes the work, right? Realizing that we let go, that we are part of everything, that we are source, that we give it back to source. That it's not that we give our control back to source, but that we realize that we were never in control of source to begin with. That we're along for this ride in life and that the control is not ours. And to be okay with things being out of our control. So this is where the work is when it comes to the fear response, right? Is the really letting go piece. And I talked about letting go in a video yesterday. I've talked about the steps to letting go before. I've talked about this. And this is a really important work, right? We want to feel safe in this world. We want to do practices that allow us to feel safe, that allow us to calm our nervous system and feel safe, and to let go of this overwhelming need to control and to hold on to something that we really have no control over. So it's being at peace with the fact that we don't have control. And this is the lesson. This is what we need to do, the work that we need to do when we're feeling that. So when we're triggered, when we're in, the fight response, when we are feeling this anger and we feel the anger and we're snapping and we're saying things that we aren't proud of and we're doing things and responding in ways that make us feel, not good about ourselves because these are quick responses based on triggers that are coming up in the moment. This is when we really want to look at our past. This is when we want to say, why am I feeling this? When did this start? What memory, what thing in the past? This is when we want to go back and do past revision work. This is when we want to sit down and journal, right? Journal, find out, dig, investigate. This is when journaling is amazing, right? Expressing, writing, talking it out, getting it out, finding out What parts of you were denied or hurt or rejected? Calling those aspects back to yourself. Right? This is where that shadow work is really important. So this is when we can sit down and do a shadow work practice on ourselves. If we realize we're being triggered all day and we're in the fight response all day, then we need to really journal. We need to look at our past, and we need to do the shadow work necessary to come back to who it is that we are. In all cases, we're trying to come back to ourselves. We're trying to come back to wholeness. We're trying to remember who we are, that we are the soul above all of it, that we are the I am, that we are connected to source, that we are everything, right? And then the sadness piece of it, the brokenness, the helplessness, the hopelessness, the shutdown, the freeze, the deep inadequacy and loss, right? The deep, I'm not enough. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I'm lacking something. I'm lacking a person, a relationship. I'm lacking love within myself. It's always about self-love when it comes to this lack, this inner lack. I'm remembering that what we lack is what we are not giving to the world or ourselves. So whatever it is we're feeling that we're lacking, we know that we can give this to ourselves. And so this is about that inner child work. This is about becoming our own best friend, becoming our own parent, becoming our own lover, like replacing that relationship that we feel lost about, or those feelings, right? Those experiences, something that we feel, a personality trait, something that we feel that we're lacking within. We can gain that. We can give that to ourselves. This is where we grow our personal power, right? And realize that we are enough, that we are whole, that we are complete, that our love is part of the all that is love, and we actually lack nothing. So it's about coming back to ourselves, coming back home and realizing, like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, that she had the power all along, that the power was inside her to come back home at any time. And this place of home is this place of wholeness and completeness where we lack nothing, where we have infinite love and infinite power and infinite opportunities and infinite creativity and infinite joy and infinite abundance all around us. Right? We lack for nothing. And so it's really important that we take clues from what our body is telling us, what our emotions are telling us, what our thoughts are telling us, what our nervous system is telling us, right? Because they're all working together, the conscious and the unconscious, the ego and the true self, right? It's all a matter of coming home to yourself. It's all a matter of completing. It's all a matter of becoming whole, of realizing that you are the power, that you are everything, that you are love, that you have nothing to fear, that you can let go of control, that you don't have control in this world, that you're complete without anybody or anything, just because you are, that you don't have to fight for what's yours. You don't have to try to get so hard. You don't have to try so hard, right? This is anger. This is all about a letting go. This is all about pointing in the direction that we want to go, realizing who we are, our true north, and then letting go of anything and everything that isn't us, that isn't the true us. Remembering who you are. This is all about remembering who you are, which is everything, which is the I am of everything. So I hope that this video has been helpful, how the ego and the identity and the unconscious, right, and the conscious work together, and how our true self and our emotions and our thoughts and our feelings and sensations in the body are clues and guiding posts, and how, you know, what it means, and then ultimately what work needs to be done when we're feeling these things, when our body is telling these certain things, when we're getting clues, like what is the work that needs to be done? Because that's the most important thing, right? It's like, I don't want to be here. So how do I undo this anger? How do I undo this sadness? How do I undo this fear, right? What is to be done in each of these cases where I don't feel okay? I don't feel safe. I don't feel whole. I don't feel complete. I feel dysregulated, unintegrated. What can be done? And so it's really important to sort of break it down, to look at it, and to understand because your body's giving you clues, your mind's giving you clues, your heart's giving you clues, right? Your subconscious, your unconscious, your conscious, all of it is speaking to you. It's trying to call you home. It is trying to call you home. And so if we know what tools to use in what situations, and we remember the overarching goal of everything, then when we do the work, we're doing the right work. It's going to take us less time. And we know the ultimate goal, which is to become whole again and to come home to ourselves and to let go of everything that is not the real us, that is not who we are. And so I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I think it's a really important video. I would watch it 1 or 2 times. Please like it, turn on the notifications, share it, leave a comment, but do watch it again. Try to understand it at a deeper level, because all of this is really important. And I want everyone to heal. I want everyone to come home. I want everyone to know what to do in what situations and how all of these things work together and why it's important, and that you can do this, to listen, to feel into yourself. You have all the answers. You are Dorothy. You are in the process of figuring out that you had the power all along, that you can come home and tap those red shoes all along, right? That you can come home to yourself. You are the healer. You are the operant power in your life. And you are able to come home and to come back to yourself and see who and what you truly are and have everything that you want in this lifetime. So I hope this video has been helpful, and I will see you in the next one.